Mice apocalypse. Mice everywhere. Imagine being in a situation where torrents of mice are running around wreaking havoc in your paddocks, home, and all aspects of your life. Who would want that?
Mice infestation is detrimentally impacting Australian agriculture. Mice plagues cause damage to the crops such as wheat and barley. This means that farmers who grow these particular crops are affected both financially and psychologically. Farmers accumulate great amounts of loss as they lose much of their income to recover the number of crops lost to mice.
Farmers go through a lot of psychological turmoil as when they return to their homes, mice are still there. In addition to farmers, citizens in the city will also experience the effects of mice plagues.
So, how did the problem start? The problem started due to a combination of a good harvest and good environmental conditions that enabled mice to breed in greater numbers. After Australia experienced years of drought and wildfires, the period of heavy rain straight after created ideal conditions for mice to reproduce.
Mice have very high reproduction rates, and when the conditions become ideal for them, their numbers can grow exponentially. Mice begin reproducing at around 6 to 8 weeks of age and continue to mate for the remainder of their lives, having up to 980 children.
There have been many attempts to prevent mice infestation from happening, such as using chemicals like zinc phosphide to poison mice, or creating water traps and luring mice into sheds.
One solution that has come up in recent years is the use of genetic modification. This concept is under research as a potential game changer when it comes to solving mice plagues.
Recently, the University of Adelaide has received a $1 million fund to cull mouse plagues. Currently, they are putting the money towards research in genetic biotechnology for invasive pests through the development of gene drives.
So, what even are gene drives and how can they help us? Gene drives can eliminate unwanted traits from both animals and crops. They work by dispersing genetic modifications through entire species until the needed number has mutated. CRISPR technology is used to locate specific sequences of genetic code and replace them, therefore ensuring that every descendant from a modified animal will also be genetically modified.
Gene drives can be utilized to adapt one trait in an organism, helping to solve a problem efficiently. It also reduces the need for pesticides, which are often very damaging to the environment. Genetic modification techniques are also cheaper in the long run, as it reduces the costly attempts that farmers utilize to remove mice. CRISPR is being used in mice to ensure that all offspring are male, therefore slowly killing off the mice population.
However, genetic modification isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Since the concept is very new, there are many unknown variables. We do not know how these modifications will impact predators of the mice or how changing one part of an ecosystem may lead to other parts of it failing. Doing this incorrectly could modify more genetic sequences than intended or introduce unanticipated traits.
There are also ethical issues that are associated with gene drives. Even if genetic modification successfully works in controlling the mice population, ethical questions will be frequently asked. When we are changing something from naturally occurring, we must be prepared for potential consequences, as well as knowing that there will be vastly different opinions on the topic.
In an email that we sent to Professor Rachel Anthony, who was partaking in creating gene drive rodents, we were told that they are at least 3 to 5 years away, meaning that there needs to be something else done in the meantime. About 8 years ago, an app called Mousealert was created for farmers to report and collect data on mice outbreaks in their area.
In an interview with Steve Henry, he stated,
Now, we thought it was a really good idea, but it turns out that farmers don't record information about mice when they're not present, and it's really important for us to have zeros as well as high numbers. And even when numbers were really quite high, we still didn't collect enough data to say anything meaningful from the app.
Nevertheless, genetic modification is becoming more and more prominent in science, especially with the modification of animals and crops. Scientists are still reviewing whether or not mice modification is necessary in urban areas, as they want to avoid the extinction of a species while still lowering the numbers in areas where it is necessary.
the recent mice plagues are detrimentally impacting the agricultural industry and consequently impacting the lives of many communities. The recent growth in science and technology is helping to prevent and reduce the negative impacts on the agricultural industry and will continue to do so in decades to come, ensuring that Australian agriculture is protected ethically with the community in mind.